Welcome to Bodybuilding Unplugged,
the new podcast keeping you up to date and behind the scenes for the competitive season and beyond.
with your hosts, director and head coach of TeamPosing with Hannah and competitive natural bodybuilder, Hannah Mitchell.
And DFAC Pro and multi-time British figure champion, Zena Al-Kalabi.
Tune in and let us know what you think. Welcome back to another episode of Bodybuilding Unplugged. This is episode 5.
Oh wow.
Every single time that I say what number we are on, it kind of blows my mind. No, very, very excited to go through this week's episode. There's been so many shows the past 2 weeks that Zena and I have decided that we're going to be running through 2 shows today. So that does mean that we are probably going to be a little bit more brief through the categories. We are going to give a little bit more of a comment over the standout physiques, maybe even potentially first place only within certain categories, but it's going to allow us to give our insight across BNBF Scottish, which Zena was present for and judging, right? Yeah. And then PCA Midlands, which I was present for, but didn't take any photos because I'm terrible at my job.
You're just so in the moment, Hannah. That's what it was. You were just...
Well, what's hilarious is the fact that I was updating Zena the whole time. I was sending... Yeah, full-blown running commentary.
Nothing for the podcast.
But just nothing for the podcast. So yeah, that's great. So why don't you dive in, Zena? You go into how was BNBF Scottish overall, because it looked like a busy show, which was really cool.
Yeah, so it was a really good show actually. It was my first time in Perth, and obviously Ethan was competing as well. So very long drive up after the UKDFBA show, but I can honestly say it's probably the most beautiful venue I have ever been to. So for those of you that don't know, it was in Perth Concert Hall, and honestly, it was absolutely stunning. Like, you know, if it was closer, I genuinely think that would be like a venue for like every finals. Like it was,
yeah.
And yeah, I think standard overall was relatively good. I think when you kind of think about like the Scottish, you almost think, you know, it's probably going to be a quieter show just because unless you're up that way, it is a long way to travel. But to be fair, the standard was still very good. And the standout category for me was 7 women's bodybuilders. Like, what?
What? You know what? Yeah, obviously that makes us extremely happy to hear. But I do think that this is later in the Scottish bodybuilding calendar, isn't it?
Sure. It's normally the first qualifier, but they've moved it to the last one. I definitely think that helped. Because it's almost like the last chance for people to qualify as well for the final. So I think that was a good move from them for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's why it was, well, yeah, it obviously makes sense as to why it was such a high standard, because it's so close. How close are we now to the finals?
So it's actually a week this weekend. So we're like 10 days out now, I think, from the British finals, which is super exciting. Yeah, the first finals of like the Natty season. So yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I can't believe we're like almost in October.
I was doing the schedule for like TeamPosing with Hannah for October this morning, and I was literally sitting there like, how am I planning all of this? It's blowing my mind. Absolutely. And obviously we've got a very, very busy couple of months left for the bodybuilding season. This is where it gets extremely exciting, extremely interesting. That being said, do they have a cap or a cut-off for how many athletes they've got going into the finals?
Not like necessarily like a cap, but they are very like, they don't just hand out invites, you know. It's not like every category gets 5 invites, or it's not like every category gets 2 invites. It's like if they genuinely believe like an athlete is of British finals standard, they'll invite them. So some categories there'll be 1 invite, you know. Some categories there'll be 4 invites. So I think it just means like the quality at finals is very good, and obviously like you can't just, it's not an open final, like you need to qualify to enter. So from the 3 shows in each category, you'd imagine, say, roughly 3 people got an invite. So then finals will be like 9, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, I think, it's always a relatively good standard there.
Yeah. And how are you feeling about judging it? Because this is going to be your first finals judging, right?
Yeah, well, I don't actually know if I'm judging yet. I
Oh, right.
haven't spoken to Vicky, but I may do something similar to what I did at the Northern, where I kind of like sub in with people, because obviously, like,
Yes.
I know a lot of people doing the show, and at the moment, if they have enough judges, I'm more than happy to kind of like just be there for like my people,
Yeah.
and help with like glazing and things like that, rather than just kind of like judge the whole show, because yeah, I mean, it's, tossing it up, but we'll see. But if I do end up judging, yeah, exciting. I absolutely love it. So we'll see. We'll see.
Very, very cool. Right, so let's dive straight in. So BNBF Scottish, we have first up, we've got Masters. So first place, Edison. Second place, Craig. Third, George McCready. And do we know these names? Do we know these people?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure first place has done another qualifier.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think as well, like this show in particular, there was a lot of like familiar faces. And I think
Yeah.
we said it before, but he's a great Masters, and he's just a complete package. Like,
Yeah.
second definitely challenges him in level of muscle, but I think just like shape and structure for me, like first place is pretty standout.
Yeah, and just probably needs a little bit more condition from second to first.
Yeah.
And then third place just needs a little bit more tissue there, and that's pretty much it, really, isn't it? It's quite an, I say easy. It may be different in other shots, but it's pretty he's a standout winner. Like, he looks like, take away, not saying his face looks old, but take away his face, like he could genuinely be in any category there.
100%, yeah. Like, he's just like got a young physique, which really
Yeah.
helps you in Masters.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if he won at finals.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very good good lineup. And then we've got over 50s, where, so Masters, if you didn't know, that is over 40s. So now coming into over 50s, first place we have Lorne Brown.
Yeah.
Second, we have Barry. Third, Paul. And then fourth and fifth, that you cannot see pictured here, but we've got Andrew, Jordan, and Malcolm Jones. So, yeah, this is a very, like, obviously we've seen Barry a few times as well, I feel.
Yeah.
But
the third place, I think he's won some of the other qualifiers.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Look at the
Nice,
tissue
yeah.
on him.
He's which is interesting actually for him then to come here and come third. But I think
Mm.
the other two for me, like the condition and their, like, I don't know, shape, I would say, just kind of pushes them ahead. But such a strong Masters category, isn't it?
So good. I think this does show, obviously, BNBF, I believe, is the only fed where you do your own tan from the get-go. Like, they don't offer that as a service. And I do feel like this here does just show the importance of getting that quite right.
Yeah.
Not saying that they place third, second, first based on tan, obviously not, but it does show. It does show the kind of difference to the level of tissue, like, display that you can get from
Yeah,
the
for
tan.
sure. Cool.
So going into now over 60s. So there was a first, second, and third. Even, oh, there we go. Oh my God, what? Look at him, first place.
I know, absolutely crazy. Just, I think on this one, the third place was actually like over like 80, I want to say.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, which is so
Amazing.
cool.
Yeah, so first we've got Paul Lansborough. By the way, some surnames I'm not actually going to say because I don't want to butcher. So, second, Bobby Smith, and third, William Cormack. I feel like he's someone that does bob around.
Yeah, I think he is. We've definitely seen him before, and like honestly,
Yeah, I think even last season that name rings a bell.
yeah.
But go on, Paul. What the? I'm actually mind blown.
I know he was genuinely like when he came out, I was like, wow, you know, it was one of those where you think like that is really, really good.
I want to see. Well, obviously he would have been in the overall, right?
Yeah.
How was he looking fared to the other guys? Because I feel like that would his. It's gonna sound so strange, but like it's almost like his rib cage is like blowing my mind. Like how wide that top line is.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
so cool.
He's really good. Like to be honest, like in the overall, he didn't really stand out as you
Fair.
would expect, really. With
Yeah.
I think like Masters, you know, in the overall, it really shows just like the difference. But
Yeah.
in terms of like a Masters competitor, like definitely up there with the best we've seen for sure.
Yeah, I will be very shocked if he doesn't like take first, like in the finals.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks
Wow, what an even that lats. Do you know what I mean when I say about their rib cage?
yeah, no, it's almost like it's wide, but not in a bad way.
Yeah. It's like someone's just pumped it up, you know? Bit of Johnny Bravo. Okay, amazing. Going into our first women's category now. Oh my god.
Honestly, this women's like, is it Masters figure?
Masters figure, yeah.
Absolutely insane. When they walked out, I'm not sure if you've got the total number of people. How many were there?
6.
Yeah. So when they walked out, I was genuinely like, I need to take a step back in my seat. Like, absolutely phenomenal.
I love that. You know what? When I'm actually really enjoying the fact that I haven't seen these before.
Oh, you
Because
haven't?
this,
Yeah.
yeah, so this is almost like, yeah, you're seeing a live reaction to all
I
these
love
kind
it.
of physiques, you know, and that's actually quite nice. We might have to do that more often. Like whenever, if I go to a show, and I get photos, I won't send them to you until like right before, and then we can get your live reaction.
Live reaction. Do you have
Yeah.
any?
So I did actually have a client in this,
Oh, sick.
Louise Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing woman. I don't know if you would remember, she had like bright blue bikini on, black hair.
I think I would if I saw a picture, but like off the top
So
of my head.
seeing these now, I mean, their condition is incredible.
Yeah.
I know Suzanne. Like Suzanne again is someone that I've seen in and out of kind of the industry now for
A while.
multiple years. I feel, yeah, she's always someone that just brings so much condition. Look at those legs.
Yeah, honestly, for me, she was definitely like standout of the day in terms of like condition, and you know through the back as well, very much like peeled, and it's so cool to see. And also,
Yeah,
you know, like presentation, and everything is always like completely flawless. But on that day, I think the challenge came from almost like a younger looking physique again. I know we've spoken
right.
about
Yeah.
it before in Masters, but
hmm
I think the lady who won, who was Zoe.
So sorry, I didn't mention names
That's
here. So
okay.
Zoe McCurdy.
Yeah, I think she just had like almost just like the perfect figure shape. While Suzanne probably has more muscle and condition, it's sometimes, you know, it goes that way, you know.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, it's not. I tried to mention this, as we will obviously be speaking about PCA a little later down the line, but even when you go into, you know, athletic, etc., within figure, it's not always who's the biggest on stage, and so many people get massively blindsided by that. But even third place here, so Diane
Yeah,
Gillen,
peeled.
want to say. Yeah, so cool. So
Good.
cool to
Yeah,
see. But I completely agree with what you're saying there. Like, yes, Suzanne is obviously more conditioned there, but you can just see that Zoe, again, if you almost like cover the faces across the top,
yeah,
just looking at physique wise, she's just the figure kind of look. Whereas Suzanne's almost slightly pushing on the edge there of athletic
yeah,
vibes, right?
for sure.
Yeah,
But
no,
very
really cool.
another very solid category.
Very good. Okay, going into teens. So first place, Michael Bowers. Second, Aaron Rose. Third, Matthew Korecki. I'm actually butchering everything.
It's
Okay.
It's been a long day for you, Hannah. Don't worry.
It's half one, everyone. To be
Oh.
fair, my body is actually my alarm is not set till 6, and my body woke me up at 4:30 today.
Oh no.
So you know when you but you know when you ping awake, it wasn't like oh, I'll just snooze. I was like, I'm awake.
I'm awake.
I'm awake. So is what it is, right? Okay, so we've seen Michael. He's been, I think, was it UK the FBA even?
I want to say he's also done a BNBF, but didn't win. He has. He's done a BNBF, and I'm not sure what he placed, but he wasn't third.
I want to say again, amazing that these boys are doing what they're doing at this age. We have definitely seen a much larger teen class.
Yeah.
You know, like a much more like where the teens, you're just like, how are they even teens?
Yeah, it's mad.
You can see here these guys just need that little bit more time. There's nothing wrong with that though, you know, like they're still absolutely incredible for doing what they are doing. But yeah, what did you think? There's also someone called Ewan that was 4th.
Yeah. For me, honestly, in this category, it was only really a battle of first and second.
Yeah.
They really did push each other, and it wasn't a clear win at all for me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they were very different physiques. I think
Yeah.
Michael, who took the win in the end, did have like the overall kind of nicer shape, and he was very confident on stage. But Aaron was definitely kind of more muscled in certain areas, especially from the back. He had like great rear delts and like a really good posterior. But I do think with what you're saying with time, putting these two on a stage where we've seen some of the teens already this season, we'll kind of see them pushed out of the top places, which is not a bad thing. It's just time, like you said. But in this show, you know, definitely top 2 on the day. I think 3rd and 4th, they just need time, muscle, and condition.
Yeah. And I think
it's so cool for them to even be on the stage at this age.
Yeah, I think sometimes like we can't even ask for more condition, can you? Where if there's not the tissue there to begin with. So again, it's just going to be a couple more years, but they're in it now. They're on stage. They've done it. They've ticked it off. So it's like all they need to do is take that time away. No, really, really cool to see. Okay, so moving on to junior now, we've got Nathan Gray, we've got Mickey Carl, we've got Finley Connor, and Jonathan, I believe, because it's a bit cut off, Kid.
I think I've seen it on the next page.
Oh, yeah. And then Louis McCready. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah, this was, wow. I think this was up there with probably some of the best juniors we've seen.
Definitely.
Top 3, outstanding, the 3 of them, honestly. I think as well what you can't see in first place. And actually, you know, all of the top 3 also had great backs, which is really cool to see in
nice.
a young physique. But yeah, I think, you know, even from this picture, you can probably see what separates them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you say great backs. We are in Scotland, you know, everyone's obviously following Keith. So yeah, well, what can we expect? No, but these, again, similar, I guess, not similar, sorry, I guess similar topic to what I did just mention with the teens is like here you can see where these would be a very good top 3 within the finals, like against the other juniors that we have seen. Like the first place, what's really standing out to me are those like lat insertions.
Yeah, that's so
like that bubble.
Yeah, for sure. He was great, and he has great glutes as well. He actually also won best legs, which is really cool for a junior.
Nice. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I did not mention this. Or maybe I did. I don't know. So apparently women can win best wheels.
Yeah, you told me.
Oh, did I?
I just couldn't see the logistics of it. Because what would they do? Like, invite someone from the women's overall into the men's overall? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know if they still do that, you know.
Yeah, maybe it was a thing that they did once, you know, as like a maybe that lady was that impressive
Yeah.
that she had to win,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely think you should put it in a comment box, like a little suggestion box.
Yeah. I think girls should have like something like that, or like like you got in WNBF like best presentation. Just something
Yeah.
something for the girls.
What does upset me about that best presentation, though, I mean, I did get it in 2021, but it's only for the people that are in the overall.
Yeah, it's the same with best wheels though. Like
Oh,
sometimes like the best wheels aren't actually the ones that are in the overall.
yeah, and I just think, like, especially with best presentation, like, I feel like that could go to anyone. But then when would you do the best presentation award? Because, like,
It's made for you, that award, Hannah.
I'll take it. And that was an amazing last shot of him as well. That does show just a real, like, muscularity on Nathan. That was really, really cool to see. Okay, moving on to
Women's bodybuilding.
7.
I can't honestly, like 7 women in women's bodybuilding is so cool. Like when I saw the like little program, I looked at bodybuilding. I was like, wow, like we have come so far.
I honestly, again, speaking about this, maybe even just yesterday, like when we think about 2021, mate, we would be surprised if there was a singular person.
Yeah,
So
because there wasn't even anyone.
yeah, and I actually want to take this moment without sounding like I'm brown nosing you, right? But people like you are the reason why this is happening, because even if women are like, okay, maybe I'm not made for this, but I really enjoy this sport and I want to do it, like they're still doing the category because you're giving them the confidence to be able to do that.
Izzy, you okay?
Izzy's got a bad heart at the minute. She just keeps coughing. I don't know if you can hear her. I'm sorry.
Bless her. Yeah, honestly, like I really, really love the fact that BNBF have kind of like tried to keep women's bodybuilding alive. And when Vicky decided that you could cross categories into bodybuilding, I think that
Yeah.
as well has like just helped really show like that you can do more than one category, and even if you're not made for it in that moment of time, like you can still give it a go. And a lot of these girls that were on this stage in Scotland were crossovers from the other two categories, which is cool to see.
Yeah, I was going to ask that because obviously 7 people in bodybuilding, that does sound great. But when it's like, okay, but how many were there actually to compete in bodybuilding?
Yeah.
I think that's also almost a completely different question, isn't it?
I want to say 3-ish were just bodybuilding, and I'm pretty sure 4 were crossovers, something like that.
Yeah, I would actually say because two of these were clients. Obviously, we are slightly biased, but Emily Richardson, who got 4th, she did do figure,
Okay.
but she did figure simply because it was her first season and she almost wanted to see where she lay and also to have the stage experience. But I know that long term, when someone's personality fits bodybuilding, like for her, she will definitely be pursuing, I believe, bodybuilding, like moving forwards off the back of that. It's just maybe not this year that she was able to bring exactly what they wanted.
And I think that's it with women's bodybuilding. Like it's almost like an aspiration for a lot of people for the future. Like I know, like Laura's competing this year. Like her goal is women's bodybuilding, but she's very much aware that she's not there yet. But that doesn't mean you can't, stand on stage and see where you are right now.
And I think that's so important because when you do stand up on stage, you're then like, okay, so let me see what I need to do to actually then be competitive.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But let's dive into it. So top 3.
Obviously, we're going to both have our moment to talk about Meg. Like, we both know Meg very well. I know Hannah.
For years.
Exactly, And Meg's been such a big part of, like, both of our lives. So, like, and to be honest, like, for me, as soon as Meg walked out, like, that's her category. Like, her shape and level of muscle is like beyond like a lot of people that I've seen on that stage, you know.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
And what is amazing to also see is whenever she does get out on stage, like you can see it from this image, she demands your attention.
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off her.
You can't. You actually can't.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, for those of you that don't know, like Meg personally, this show was like at Meg knew this wasn't her like best, you know. I think every single women's bodybuilder on that stage did need more condition to be like a truly competitive women's bodybuilder in like British and Europeans. But you know, it was about getting the invite, but like dusting off the cobwebs. Like you and I both know, you know, when you haven't competed for a few years, like getting that first show out the way is almost like something you need to just do. Because you know you're like so nervous. Like I like literally felt sick to my stomach the first time I went back up there, and you know sometimes you have to kind of take it as this isn't the main goal of the season, but this is something that I need to do to get there. And I think, you know, quite proud of Meg for like realizing that in her head.
Yes, 1,000%. I mean, to put numbers behind it, I think after my first show of my season, I dropped 2 kilos.
Yeah,
because of how much I was like nervous.
Yeah, I just shit myself the whole day, so love that for me.
Love that for you. Yeah, a bit. Probably also dropped 2 kilos.
Meg actually had to clean up my tan because it was that bad. So
oh, I love it. That's how close you get in bodybuilding.
I'm pretty sure I dropped 2 kilos after each show I've watched this season as well. Like
because of your heart rate.
Honestly, like watching the shows is probably the best fat loss.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, the most outstanding level of muscle and such a fucking amazing shape. So very clear win for me for Meg.
I'm very excited to also see, because like we've just mentioned, and there's no malice behind saying it, and we would want people also saying it about us if we knew it was the case. Like, we know that Meg can come in tighter, and she's going to. I believe someone turned around to her and was like, what can you do in like the next kind of 3 weeks? And I think she's going to bring something extremely special. So I had a little lesson with her, a little top up with her, I think 2 days ago.
Nice.
And even just the changes that we can see in like her side leg detail. It's definitely coming.
So cool. But like, creds to the other girls in the category, like a lot of like good potential for like women's bodybuilding. I know we've already said it, but I think, you know, condition for everyone, but you know, that can be done between now and finals. And yeah, I mean, I love this shot of the lady in third here. That's a great side leg.
I was just about to say, I actually think that's Chloe Pickford's client.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Sally J. Because I'd been following, I say following her journey, like through Chloe posting, and I replied to Chloe's story quite a few times, like, oh yes, like what a fucking look. So yeah, very exciting, because I believe that's her like first time, maybe even in bodybuilding.
Yeah. Cool.
So I think very bright future ahead for Sally as well, because like we can see from that side leg, it's going to be very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure. And there is a lovely winner shot of our Megs.
Boom! The money shot. Okay, so moving into novice.
We're both moving on mine.
The coffee finally kicked in for me, thank fuck. So we've got Charlie Cuthbert, Nick Goldstein, and Nicholas Arnold.
So yeah, I mean, a great lineup. Definitely, absolutely very good novices. And I actually do think, you know, these top 3 did definitely battle it out. You know, between the 3 of them, they all had strengths and weaknesses in comparison to each other. But yeah, I mean,
mate, third. like to even, and I think this is a perfect demonstration or display of how important it is sometimes to just be proud of whatever placing that you've got. Because if I placed 4th in that lineup, I'd be so happy, because all 3 of those are absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, what separated them on the day for me, like, as you can probably see from this image, Charlie, who won's legs are outstanding. And from behind as well, like, absolutely, like, peeled glutes. And yeah, like, a great overall package. Second and third were more similar, I think, in physique. They're both taller, but again, like, you couldn't argue if it went another way.
I'm almost just shifting to second for a bit more condition, maybe through the legs.
A little bit, maybe. I think, yeah, probably from behind as well. He could probably come in a little bit, but yeah, the only thing which I think is like a genuine thing he can't do is Charlie can't lat spread very well, which I think when you sometimes are up against even more competition is going to be hard. But I think AJ was saying like it's like actually something that he like because of his shoulders or something. I don't know.
Well, Charlie, holla, because I love it when people. Do you know how many people genuinely come to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can't lat spread." I'm like, okay, we'll see.
Me, but like for me, like even if you can't fucking lat spread, like there's no taking away from how good those legs are. And like personally, I would have given Charlie best wheels in that show.
Very interesting. And you know what? Yeah, I think obviously the person, I don't remember the name, but the person who you mentioned saying best wheels, I wasn't like surprised, I guess, but usually they go best wheels, not necessarily like the most conditioned.
Yeah, just like the biggest, like
tree trunks.
Yeah, like when Rue won, it's basically like they've got freaking knees and then they go big circles.
Yeah, typically that's what they do tend to go for. So I was a bit surprised when you did mention the previous gentleman, but you know, on the day is what it is.
Is what it is, mate.
Do they do like a best wheels overall, like in finals? Do all the best wheels peoples go up? I feel like they should do that.
No, it'll just be like the same structure of like, but most likely it'll still be the similar people, you know, because the people
the best of the bus wheels.
Right. Next, this is a lovely shot.
Very good. But yeah, I see what you mean. I'll tell you now, I'll be able to do it. But anyway, moving on. We'll go to classic. Oh, wait.
Sorry, yes. This is Mr. and Mrs. Athletic. They were both the only ones in the category. So they actually came on stage together, posed together, and then they had their winning shot together as well. But
amazing.
Quickly go over this because I think this is actually the best men's athletic we've seen so far this season. In terms
full criteria.
Yeah, full criteria. I think he really does portray what men's athletic is supposed to be. And
finally, yeah.
So I think, you know, this was, you know, even though he was the only one, I think he probably still would have taken. He probably will take British if he does it.
Yeah.
Cool. And
no, completely agree.
Oh, we're having a moment.
So anyone that's just listening here, this is Zena's first time doing the images, and it's quite hilarious.
I've done well so far. I'm glad you didn't record the pre podcast episode of me trying to figure out how to share my screen and the pictures. But okay, we're all right for now. And Miss Athletic, I think she was, you know, a really good Miss overall. But I do still think, you know, for that category, you need to be leaner.
Definitely need to be leaner, especially if we're thinking about who she may be up against. So if we're thinking like Jess, you know, but she has got very good density there. Like that side leg, like that reminds me a lot of Beth Power Builds.
Yeah, very very similar. She definitely does like heavy squats, doesn't she?
Yeah, No, very, very good. Okay, so moving on to, is it classic bodybuilding next?
Well, trying, but it's not working. Why is it doing this, Hannah? It was doing so well. I'm just gonna have to do this.
You were doing so well.
Is this the right one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I'm
Looks like a young Ryan Brambleby.
I know. You can talk about this 1 second. I need a wee.
Okay, amazing. Right, so we are into classic bodybuilding. So we've got Michael Linder, we've got John Doridan. No, oh my god, Dorian! Right, I'll have to wait till Zena gets back to just uncover that one. And then, yeah, there was actually a class of 6 here. This is a very good classic lineup, I would actually say, looking at the top 3 here. They actually do look classic, which, as we've previously spoken about, is not always the case, especially first and second. I would say that third, in this shot in particular, isn't potentially hitting it as well as the other two, so looking a little bit thicker through the waist simply because of posing potentially. You know, a little bit more manipulation through the hips would also help with that. But first and second, this is a very good play. And you know what? This is very interesting as well because of their difference in height. So there's quite a large difference between first and second in height. And I think this shows as well that classic isn't always about like who is the biggest on stage. It's about that kind of flow to the physique here, because a lot of the time, you know, the shorter person can look a little bit maybe thicker, a little bit denser, and so they sometimes can take the win over a taller athlete. I was just saying, Zena, the second place's surname is like Dorian.
That's his surname.
Well, it's double R, but still.
Cool.
Dorian.
Nice.
I feel like you just have to bodybuild if that is your.
Sorry, your future set.
That's it. Your life is like now that. But I'm really a big fan of second place's condition.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
I really like it.
Cool. Happy?
Yeah, I feel like first place, obviously, like I mentioned, a real good flow to the physique, etc.
Yeah.
But I do think going into the British, he would need to bring almost like that little bit sharper, similar to second,
Yeah.
Because we've seen the classic athletes that are coming in through these regionals.
Yeah, they're absolutely crazy.
Boom. Yay! I need to stop doing that.
Yay! Right. So first place Diana, second Amy Dixon, third Charlie Reid.
Yeah, boy.
And there was 6 in here. Wow, honestly, a very, very high standard of figure, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very, it was really interesting in this category in person, actually, because as they posed, a lot of things changed. Like, when they first came out, third place Charlie stood out quite a lot in the sense that she was very smiley, she had great stage presence. She was actually the most conditioned figure, I would say, as well today. But not necessarily kind of like the most muscled. But then as we kind of went through the rounds, I think first and second kind of displayed like more fit into the category, and their size kind of showed a little bit better. Like for me personally, I think the winner was pretty clear in the sense that she just fits the category the best, and she has like a relatively decent amount of condition to match, whereas second in comparison, I think needs to be leaner to be more competitive. I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so without being like speaking about her too much, I've worked with Diana for like over a year now. And we literally had a session maybe like 2-3 days leading up to it. She was like, I'm not ready. And I was like, right. I was literally, I went to her, I was like, so when you win the overall, I literally said that, when you win the overall, then then come back to me. And she was like, what? But like, I'm not as lean. I was like, not as lean as who?
Yeah.
Because you know what? I will actually have the conversation a few times, because some people, and this might sound wrong to people listening that don't know me like better, if that makes sense. But I'll say, make sure you're not comparing yourself to me.
Yeah.
I don't suit figure. I wish I did suit figure
Yeah.
in some aspects,
Yeah.
but I lean out in the wrong areas for figure. So like sometimes they'll be like, oh, but I'm nowhere as lean as like, I'm like, good.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
you're
not
not
meant to
meant to be.
And like the thing is with figure as well, like it's just not about being diced to the bone. Like
No.
there's a balance of like fullness, shape, like so many things other than just being the most shredded person on the day.
And she is
She's
honestly
perfect for
figure
figure,
to a
yeah.
T.
It's definitely going to be a challenge come finals.
Well, so this is it, mate. First show, last show.
Oh, why is she not? Why are these people not doing finals and things like that?
It was a birthday as well. So basically, mate, she was like, yeah, I just want to see if I can do it.
But you've just won an overall. Like, why would you not go to British finals? Oh, I don't get it. Can you tell her she needs to end? Oh, it's too late now.
I've tried. I literally was like, you could take world domination.
That's such a shame.
I know. But she's got so much in life, in the sense of, like, she's got a job, she's studying, you know, when I know that obviously, yes, you also have lots of things, but she literally would turn around and we would have sessions, and you know, when people can't form sentences because she's got that much going on. So it was like she pushed herself beyond every kind of ever expectation. She did so well. But you know, when it's like life is also happening.
I guess that's it, isn't
But
it?
look at that shot. And also, I just want to mention
She has 100%
that,
track record anyway now, so.
yeah, that's it. What is also quite cool, not that Suze would listen to this, that's my bikini.
Is it actually? Oh my god, I recognise it now.
So UK the FBA last
I
year.
remember it. I didn't know
Yeah.
on the day, but that's so sick. It fits.
How cute is that?
I love that.
So it was a full circle moment.
Circle.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited about this one. Lightweight men. Only
Excited.
because yeah, I was very, very excited to see Martin back on stage as well.
Yeah, to be fair, like, obviously, Ethan's my boyfriend. I'm going to be biased. But I think, you know, Martin and Ethan would definitely like a battle because they are very different, you know?
So different.
Very different. And I think, obviously, we've spoken about Ethan before, so we won't go into too much detail, but I think this picture just shows how aesthetic his shape is. And, you know, even though some people may be more muscled in certain areas, like, you just can't take away from, like, he is made in a lab. Like, I will just live by that, you know. But Martin, yeah, absolutely great. This is his first show of the season.
Yeah, and I also, like, for me, his legs, like, I actually saw his photos and I was shocked that, again, obviously it's probably different potentially seeing person like in real life, but you know, I would have put him up for best wheels, like at least a contender there.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, he couldn't enter because he didn't win the category.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, you know, this is another one where it would be cool to be like, you can be invited into the best wheels because he definitely would be a contender, and like side and glutes were also very, very dense. So, yeah, really cool though. Like he was like absolutely great for the first show of the season.
And I would be quite interested to, I know this probably sounds a bit weird, like know the weight difference between Ethan and Martin.
Ethan will probably know.
Because they're very similar heights, right? And obviously being lightweight, they're going to be under a certain limit. So it would be like, but they're so different.
They are completely different physiques. That's, yeah, absolutely crazy. also Chris, who came third. Obviously, I know Chris like super well. This was actually like the best I think we've ever seen him, and he did do the Northern qualifier as well. But like creds to him, he came so much sharper for this show.
Love that.
Yeah, like absolutely love to see it, and he's had like a tough year as well. So it's always different when you know kind of the stories. But yeah, I was like super proud to see him up there, and it was nice like being on stage with Ethan as well.
Good. Amazing.
Yeah, cool.
Love that.
Love that shot.
Yeah, boy. Amazing.
Do I not have the... Oh, here we go.
I was going to say middleweights now, right?
I think, yeah. Was it middle? Is this?
Yeah.
Middles.
So there's 4 again in this category. I'm kind of surprised at the like small amount. There's quite a lot of females in this show and not that many males.
Men's wasn't actually that busy. Like it was.
Yeah, 4-4-2. Interesting.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I'm gonna go with Joe.
I think it's
Joe Owo.
But we can go with. I don't want to butcher it, but
I know, but Mr. Pinto.
Mr. Pinto. He was so dense, like just so much muscle.
He looks like a fridge, mate.
I think he's from Portugal. I want to say he's
wow.
But yeah, you know, for him in that category, a standout. Obviously, second place looks great here in this shot, but
yeah,
overall, like you know, he was a standout. He just had so much muscle in the right areas.
Yeah, and you can see as well, like you know, sometimes people with more tissue, like they can almost struggle to get that conditioning. And at first, you know, when you went onto the photo where he was on his own, I saw that and I kind of for a glimpse was like, oh, he doesn't look that conditioned. But it was just that like initial top line. And then I was like, whoa, no, he is conditioned. He's just also that thick.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, it's very, very cool to see. Again, such a different shape.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like outstanding winner, I think.
Yeah. No, cool. Lovely. Love that. Then we've got heavyweights. So Tom and Christoph.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, really good actually. Like you know, it's 2 in a category is never going to be like the best, but I think they were both very good heavyweights. Very different actually, and I wish you had a rear shot here because like they were very different from behind. And I actually think second place Christoph's behind shot was potentially better in some places. But I think overall, yeah, like Thomas was.
I think what's almost taking my eye here for Thomas is he looks like he's got such a much better thickness through his top line. It's almost like Christoph looks quite like not immature but like young within his like chest and lats more specifically as well. Like just needs again a bit more almost
quads, though.
Yeah, great quads. It just almost looks like you'd be able to pinch it, if that makes sense, within like the lat. Whereas you can just see that gristle, I like to call it, in Thomas's like chest there. It's like boom, thick.
No, for sure.
Nice.
And I think it'd be super interesting to see them both against like people like Theo and stuff at finals.
To be fair, like, well, when you then say things like that, even though they are 2 great athletes, then you do think about the heavyweights that we've seen, and those heavyweights, they look like mind blown.
And here are
it will still be very interesting. Yeah, amazing. Absolutely. Oh my god, they get a tub of AGF as well. I want to win.
That was Ethan's thing that he came off. He goes, wanted to win so I could get a tub of protein.
Yeah, literally. I would like it. Nah, look at that little glass trophy. Wait, you've won one of those, haven't you?
I didn't win the overall at my qualifier. I know. You know the Masters figure Claire? She won it. Which is mad.
Yes.
Because then, like, in the finals, we were both in the overall again, and then I won in the finals.
Yeah, but we know you can just bring such a different look, and you definitely did.
A different panel. It was a different, you know, that's the thing. Yeah. with a lot of results, like we said, different panel, different day is a different result.
Yeah. But I know that Amy coaches or coached, I don't know if she's kind of continued post show, but Amy, as in like She's So Amy, coached Diana.
Oh,
and I feel like peaked her very well.
Yeah, definitely.
Tight midsection, still popping in the right places. It's real nice to see as well. Okay, amazing. So incredible showing, and like you did you say that's the last one now? Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
BNBF is all done. Just British finals to go, which is so exciting.
is there anyone that you're the what?
They're a broad show then as well, which will be good.
Yes, I was going to say, is there anyone in particular that you're excited to see what they do between maybe the regionals and the finals?
Yeah, honestly, obviously everyone, but I definitely favour like female categories because I think I'm female, you know. And I'm really interested to see a rebattle between Sophia and Paige. Because
and I know Paige is digging hard.
and I know Sophia is too. So one of the things that definitely separated them at the qualifier, which we talked about, was, you know, Sophia needs to come in a bit sharper, and I think she is going to come in a lot sharper. So I think it'll be really cool to see, and I'm really excited to see them both again, because their show was a long time ago now, and I think me and Ethan actually had this conversation of when you have people in the early qualifiers, they're like the ones that are going to look the most different, and I think everyone in that show, it's going to be really cool to see what they've done between that show and finals. So I'm definitely excited for that. What about you? Is there anyone that you're like? Obviously, you know Paige on one very personal level, so that's like exciting for you.
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I think there's other than Paige and Meg, because of knowing them on a more personal level, they're probably the only ones that are like standing out for me, so to speak. But I just think that seeing anyone go from a regional to a finals is always extremely interesting. Like, it should be that you are bringing better. Like, you should never be stepping on stage bringing the same package, in my opinion, because what's the point? Don't do it. So yeah, I'm just excited to see that kind of level up, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, I will stop sharing my screen for this
I was
one.
just about to say, yeah.
And then
Do you know how?
Is that gone now? Has my screen gone?
Yeah, it's gone. So I'm now going to share this one. Bippity boppity boo. So,
as we've already discussed, right, Hannah was at the show. So Hannah will definitely be taking the lead on some of these in terms of like who else was there on the day. So we only have like winners' pictures. But I will let Hannah take charge of like saying how, you know, the winners compared to like other people in the category.
Yeah. Okay, mega. So going into, I'll be honest, I was like not late, but I was backstage with, well, I say backstage, they don't allow anyone backstage. I was behind the scenes with a client when Bodybuilding Short was on. So I wasn't able to, well, classic Bodybuilding Short, I wasn't able to see this one. I kind of came, but saying that, is that in just the wrong order? Are we, I swear it wasn't. I think they may have like not posted in the right order, because I know,
like even just like go through the pictures and just talk through like the winners ones, you know.
Yeah, that's probably better. And then if anyone springs to mind, then I can like easily say. Cool. So this is, I'm gonna say Chris.
Yeah. I love it. It's crazy, isn't it? Like going from the BNBF to the PCA, in the sense that I know a lot of natural athletes that did the Midlands, and I know you know them, the same ones. But it is actually, I think this picture just kind of demonstrates like the difference between someone that's assisted and somebody that's not. Like it's just crazy. Like muscle, the hardness. That's like the main difference, I think, as well. But he looks very classic, which is nice to see.
Yeah, so I know that Mark, as in as in Ali and Mark. I know that Mark did classic, and I know that, oh my gosh, Natural Shredder, I've actually forgotten his actual name, also did it. And I know Mark placed, I believe, 7th, and then Natural Shredder got 4th.
Pretty good.
So very good, because they were big classes, mate.
Yeah.
PCA Midlands was a big show.
I've
I
actually
think.
got a picture of the full lineup on my phone, because
Ooh,
Ethan's friend Josh did classic short as well.
yes.
And like I'm not going to be able to really show
Show
it.
us on the script. Put it against the thing.
Yeah, I will. I'm just going to crop it so you can actually see.
Okay.
But there was 15 people in this lineup. I know, which is
That's so cool.
madness. And yeah, Josh actually came second, which is really cool.
That
Which was a new category for him. Right, I'm just
natty or not.
no.
We should do that as an episode one
God,
time.
we actually
Natty or not.
this is
Oh wow.
really unhelpful, but like you can just
No.
like how many. Okay, it's just so freaking bright.
No, I can see. Yeah.
Lots of biceps.
Mate, to be fair, do that again. I reckon you'd be in that lineup. Oosh.
Come on, carry on.
I'm so weak right now that I'll be like, yeah.
I mean, you're basically fucking just finishing a prep, mate.
You know what? I'm in week 15.
That's crazy. Like, that is literally longer than some people's preps.
But 11 kilo down, and like I've only felt, I mean, not bringing it about me, but obviously I've only felt like the past week has been a bit like weird. You know what I mean?
Because you know it's finishing. Like you have an
I
end
think
date.
so.
You know, when you have an end date, it's like, oh, like get it over with. Come on.
I think so, and I think I'm just like I've weirdly had 3 really good training sessions, and they fucking ruined me. But I know that I would rather have those training sessions because it's felt like forever since I've had them.
Yeah, no, I rate that.
So anyway, let's get back to PCA. The what?
Next one.
Yeah, next one. Hey, we definitely need to speak about this lady.
We know who that is.
We know her.
And for those of you that don't know and are not watching on YouTube, we've got Chelsea on the screen, who is the athletic figure winner, and she is a natty.
And she took the overall.
Yeah, which is so fucking amazing. And I actually texted Hannah when Chelsea was on and was like, what does she look like in person? Because I've actually never seen Chelsea compete in real life.
Yeah.
And I
do you know why, mate? Because it's only a second season.
That's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. A profile in the third season, like Jesus Christ. But like I think this photo just shows just how conditioned she is, which is so cool. And she gets like hard condition, doesn't she?
Yeah. So this was what was a massive standout for me, because athletic figure, like again, she was on stage with obvious assisted ladies, yet she was the most conditioned. Like through the lower in particular, like there was so many the chest looks insane, but there were so many athletes on that stage that I think there was like maybe 7 in total, that their top line, great, like conditioned, like cool, but their lower was almost like toned figure conditioning. So, and it's making sure that there's the difference. Like you don't just have size in athletic figure. That's not what it's about. You need to have the shape, you need to have the condition. So massive. It was in my opinion a clear win for Chelsea in regards to that whole package, even though there were ladies next to her that in certain shots, in certain photos, they may have looked bigger, etc. But she was the whole package, like absolute standout there. Yeah, a massive shout out as well, because I know that Ali has never done a PCA show before.
And she went straight into athletic, like that's
straight into athletic. She'd never done the posing before. She didn't even peak for it, so she literally just did it because it was round the corner. Her and Mark wanted to try, and Yeah, because they're so amazing. Because I saw her the day before because she's helping me with a project.
Nice.
And yeah, so she bought her absolute like best that she could have on that day.
Yeah.
And again, she did not at all look like, oh yeah, there's the
No.
natty. You know what I mean?
No, I love that. So cool.
Which is always, I believe, one of the things that a lot of people worry about is that they get up on stage and that they'll stand out for the wrong
Yeah,
reasons,
for
you
sure.
know? And
Big
she
up the
didn't in the
Nazis.
slightest. Yeah, I'm a massive, massive fan. I'm just trying to think who actually got like second and third.
I think I remember you saying that second was pretty good, but I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think.
Let me have a look on my.
I remember being like, yes, second place, like she was great. I believe third was a lady who's also quite local. I can't. Her name begins with a K. But and she was good, but yeah, just needed way more conditioning in her lower.
Yeah, there was a
Um,
short one as well that you told me you really liked on the stage.
oh yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
guys, we
big.
don't actually have names, but I think yeah, I remember you saying like top three were like very strong.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. It was great. Okay, and actually moving on to bodybuilding short here. Again, a guy that I actually know quite well. He's worked at Emporium. I say hilarious. He actually works in like cyber security, so it's like one of those where
I wouldn't want to mess with him.
yeah, literally. So he's a good guy. But he's just no, not just started, but he's been working with Martin Winston, condition coach
Yeah,
for a long, long time now, and he's taken this title many times.
nice, cool.
So it was like his return to stage, like, yeah, I've still got it. Like,
Yeah, has he ever
one
done
of
like
those, like, don't sleep on
has he
me
ever
kind
done
of
like a
vibes.
two bro show? Because I think he'd like do pretty well.
I think he would. He would. I think he would do very well, But at the same time, when he's got like the shape and bubble, like he actually posted his routine today, and I think he's a very similar, almost structure to say like Alex Lord,
Okay, yeah.
where how they've still got that kind of like flow to it, whereas sometimes NPC it's like a slab.
Yeah, yeah, no. Yeah, he
So
looks
I
great.
think. Yeah, very, very good. And if he continues like with this kind of mindset, he's in a very strong position at the minute. Like if he continues, he's going to do very well at the British, in my opinion.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah,
Cool,
good.
cool, cool.
Cool. So then we've got Buff Baddie. Oh my god, I'm here for it.
I love that. She's pretty buff, to be fair.
Yeah, she is a baddie. Junior
Beautiful
bikini.
midsection.
Mm.
Such a succulent
You know what?
midsection.
I reckon she's coached by Shah, bikini
Okay,
coach.
nice.
Yeah,
She's really
rings a
good.
bell.
Yeah, she looks great.
Very good side shot as well. I know obviously we're only seeing her like almost like waiting pose here or
Yeah.
front variation, but very strong overall
Yeah.
athlete, like great conditioning in her lower, which to be fair, like when you think about Shah as a coach, she always brings them in like quite peeled.
Yeah.
Gluten ham tie was very, very good as
Nice.
well.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously with a name like that, like you can imagine, like her overall presence on stage was very captivating.
Nice.
She's not someone that walks out and is kind of like, you
Powering.
could
Yeah.
maybe choose me.
She's like, this is mine.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she took it, and it, again, very well deserved. It was a good lineup, to be fair. Okay, into junior bodybuilding now.
This is Alex. He actually did the PCA Wales and won there as well. Beat Charlie.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I actually think he actually looks better at this show than he did at Wales a few weeks back. And honestly,
Yeah.
for a junior, he used to be natty and used to compete as a natty, and it's one of those, that like you just watch them blow up, and it's so fucking cool to see.
Yeah, you know what? I think now you've said all those kind of like backstory. I think I remember I think I remember him like quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very not. I don't remember him at this show, but as in general, very, very good. Like, look at the detail coming all the
Crazy.
way into that
Yeah.
side leg.
Yeah, he's a great bodybuilder, and I think he's going to go far for sure.
That is very exciting.
Very cool.
Okay, moving into tones now. So, yeah, toned. I think I sent Zena about 4 billion videos.
Yeah, I had a
It
lot.
was a big
It was
lineup.
so many, and obviously we knew a few people in there. But it is always interesting to see the way it goes on the day. I think tone can go in
Mm,
so many different ways. But I
mm.
remember you telling me like this lady who won's waist was like tiny, right?
Right, like we love a waist.
Yeah.
But yeah, she I say like she was a clear winner. Like
Yeah.
when you put the top even like top 5, top 7, like next to one another, you can definitely see what they were going for,
Right.
like within the category. Like she had a great level of condition without being too over vascular, again, like her lower half is perfect for tone figure, where you can see the condition coming through, but there's not feathers anywhere.
Yeah.
But her waist just made everything else.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Also,
it just
what the
made the
hell
shape.
does Dan Welburn do for delts? Because every single one of his clients has these like fuck off delts. Like, look at them. Honestly.
I was actually going to say something bad then. I don't actually know. No, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now. Second, third, fourth, fifth.
Lucy was second, right? Lucy
Yes.
Ellis Klein was second. I know
Yeah.
Loz was obviously fifth, which is
Yeah.
really cool to see. You know, she's never done a PCA show either, and creeping into that top 5 with an invite was really good to see. And then
Yeah.
I don't know third and fourth off the top of my head.
I can't think. Shall we? I swear I'm gonna actually, while we are here, because we're doing quite well in terms of the time in here.
I know.
You know,
We've
we've
sorry.
still got 40 minutes to play with.
I need a nap, Hannah.
Oh shit, yeah, you do. Right, okay. Let me just go on to Ella's thing, because I'm sure Ella would have posted, right, about Lucy being on stage.
Yeah.
Come on, come on. Surely.
I'm just having a look at the ones that you've sent me as well.
Oh, Indy was third.
Oh my god, how did we forget? Yeah,
So
it's so cool to
Indy,
see her back on stage.
yeah,
She's so
amazing.
cool. I remember she saying that she was gonna retire, and she's like, "I'm hanging up the posing heels." And then, like, when she announced like her like starting with Josh McHale and then in prep, and I was like, I knew
Yeah,
one of them again.
yeah. I think if I speak again, completely my own opinion, completely like through being there on the day, the difference between say first and second was, I believe this lady's called Kate in a Kini.
Yeah.
She had like much tighter conditioning than Lucy.
Okay.
And that was like the only real difference there.
Yeah.
So Lucy looked quite like muscularity. She looked bigger in certain shots, but I do believe it was just that that Kate bought in the tighter kind of package. And then when I kind of compare second to third here, Indy was really tight, like condition wise, but I think because of that, she lost like a little bit through her glute. So like Lucy's overall shape, she like presented like a really strong kind of like silhouette through there.
Was Alex fourth?
Oh yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I think.
And again, like Alex was someone that returned to the stage, right? Was she bikini?
I think she's done figure now, but she
Oh, right.
originally before was bikini. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like it was just a really beautiful lineup to watch. Like it was really enjoyable. And then just kind of following on from like maybe fourth onwards, it was just that kind of mix between some people needed to bring in a much tighter package, which can be forgotten about in tone figure, I think sometimes, but again, it was such a great lineup, and the routines as well were probably some of the best routines that I've seen. It was like one of those where you just like forget sometimes you're at a bodybuilding show. Okay. Zena, are you napping now?
No, I'm trying to like look on my screen. I'm actually quite far away because we've already had this chat. I'm not allowed to change anything in this room, so I'm like looking at the screen. God, he's big, isn't he?
So this is Will, and I have followed him for absolutely years.
You know everyone, Hannah.
No, but the thing is though, like I don't like I know them because I like, yeah, he probably doesn't know me. Like, you know me, I'm just obsessed with like freaks. Like, look how cool that is. But honestly, massive shout out because he stood out from a mile away. Like when I was watching this category, I was actually at the back of the stage, but I could see his smile from the back of the stage. He loved every single second.
So good. I love it when people like genuinely want to be there. Like you can tell like they're happy to be on stage. It makes such a difference.
Yeah. That's what grabbed my attention, regardless of the package, which, to be fair, from what I remember, it was quite like a standout. I think it was like a very clear win. But regardless, every single shot he was beaming. And it was so cool.
So good.
Okay, going into wellness. I did have a lady competing in wellness.
Oh yeah.
I believe she didn't place, and it was just a pure size game. Like you can see here, like this lady's dense.
Do you know what? Actually, she's got great upper body.
Yeah,
like delt is like standing out over everything for me, which is probably not a good thing. I would like to see her in a different pose, especially for wellness. Like I think this doesn't. I didn't know what she looks like from behind or with a proper like side pose, but yeah, for me on this shot, she looks like very balanced up to low.
Yeah, it's almost like I'd love to see her in a figure front relax. But I didn't. Yeah, I didn't actually. I only saw kind of my client, and then I went back to make sure she was all right. Why can't I click off? Help! Help!
Oh yeah, I can't help you. This is sounds like
oh, okay, that's why. But yeah, I think wellness is within PCA is still finding its feet.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think it was still a good, enjoyable category to watch for sure. And people's posing within the wellness are getting a lot better as well, which is quite enjoyable to watch. Now, I know this gentleman, Junior Physique, I know he's coached by Reese Fit.
Yeah, I saw a photo of them together.
Yeah, and I saw his kind of eye walk presentation, and I really enjoyed it. I thought, you know, this does show what physique is about. It's not like a massive size game, so to speak. It is about that kind of like overall look, the small taper, great upper body. I know we spoke about it before, but like even the well-fitting shorts, like it all works really well.
Yeah, I know for sure. And I think he's definitely got like great potential for like the future in physique, because I think his shape is like really good for it. But you can almost tell he's a junior.
Yeah, cool. For sure. Jeez.
He is peeled.
And it's not trained or anything.
No.
Wow.
She looks great. I love like a lean bikini.
Yeah, man.
She looks amazing.
You know what? As well, I know. So I had a client in this, Sarah, who got second, and seeing this shot now, I'm like, yeah, okay. yeah, okay.
She looks great. Honestly, I couldn't fault that shot. Like, everything is on.
Absolutely. And I think, again, like it's very nice to see, because, you know, sometimes even within bikini, there's some people that I'm just like, oh, you're just a bit, are you actually figure? Like, are you, you know, whereas this lady here, Lucy, is so clearly bikini, like beautiful proportions, beautiful condition and pop as well. Like, yeah, that's quite nice to see. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I think this really shows the difference between like juniors and then open physique, like so much more density and thickness. He looks great, and yeah, I really like actually that he's chosen white shorts. I think they complement it quite well. It's a risky color choice, but I actually think they stand out quite a lot.
Yeah, that is so risky. I can't even imagine being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go for white, like with that tan.
I know, literally.
Now this here, you can clearly see why there's a massive difference between normal bikini trained, and even like figure again. Like this is a beautiful bikini train winner, Katie, I believe.
I do think bikini trained and like a conditioned figure are sometimes like, you know, it's like when Hannah Hesketh competed in bikini, like part of you was like, you know, if you wanted to be figure, you could be figure. But I actually think, you know, she actually really suits trained bikini, and you know, it's a completely different category, isn't it? And I kind of like that PCA do trained bikini because it gives them kind of like almost the more muscled bikini athletes like another place to go in bikini.
Yeah, and it keeps keeps bikini at bay, but it just stops bikini from getting like too big, so to speak. Like instead of just thinking like, oh, I need to get bigger and bigger and bigger, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that it was this guy. This is Kate's boyfriend. You know, the one that likes to rave.
Ross?
Kate, not Kate. Kate. No?
I'm not off the top of my head.
No, that's fine. But yeah, I did not realise that her boyfriend, her partner, was at the show. What a look!
I know, absolutely. Like again, just perfect for men's physique, and very dense and like good short choice and stuff. So yeah, great.
He's even got like, you know, I was speaking to someone about this, like, you know, where they've got the look, the kind of like pretty boy look, the poster boy look. He's even got that.
Yeah.
That's when they do need that to go far, you know?
Yeah, you do. Also, Josh Wall getting his pro card.
I was about to mention that, and I was like, shall I not? Because so good.
It's so funny how short he is compared to everyone else on the stage.
I know. But it's so deserved, man. I mean, I know he took a little bit of time off, I think, to like have a baby and things like that. But this comeback season has been
so sick.
There's certain people that are made for it, man.
Again, so it's that post session. You know, post session.
Yeah.
You just have to go. So you can do this bikini shoot.
That's fine. If you nap on the toilet, though. Okay, so then we've got bikini short winner here, Claire. Now, again, you can just see the absolute outstanding proportions. Like, she's pretty peeled, but again, popping in the right places, not ridiculously like feathered through the quads, etc. But great fold outs and tiny waist. Like, her waist is actually outrageously small. So going into bodybuilding medium. Oh my god, I remember him because I didn't actually know who he was. And then watching him perform, watching him pose, actually outstanding. The width, the density in his like side profile really stood out. Every single side shot, even his presentation. Mate, honestly, yeah, he was fantastic. I don't know if he's ever been on stage before, but I don't know like of him. But I actually remember putting him on my story being like, I don't know who you are, but yeah, you're sick. He is mind-blowingly good. Like, I really enjoyed watching him, and I think, well, I hope that he just continues what he's doing.
NPC show actually on the 1st of September. That was the first show of the season, which is cool.
How did he look?
Yeah, like pretty good. I don't know what he came. I don't think he won.
I wonder, like, if he like came in tight or anything for this one.
Yeah, don't know, but yeah, he's sick. To be fair.
Yeah, very big fan. Okay, and then here she is. Oh, tell you what, you carry on 1 sec.
So I'm confused because they've posted like second place. But it's so cool to see Jasmine on stage. Like, I absolutely like. every single time she comes back and competes. Like, I love seeing her, and she is just absolutely amazing for this category. Hannah, do you know why they posted? Have they posted the winner somewhere else?
Oh yeah. And maybe we've gone through it then. Maybe we've done all first. Oh no.
I think they put, yeah, they have. They started posting like second and thirds.
But we still have a first, because I remember I want to speak about Classic Tour in a
Yeah, I
minute.
think that's the only one left from what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay, yeah. So saw Jazz backstage, and I was like, "Hey, girl!" I'm really glad that she went for black. I know that's going to sound really odd for some people, but this is Jazz's signature look. Like wearing that black bikini, rocking that black, like it's just her to a T. And it was so cool seeing her back on stage. I mean, I know that she's done multiple shows in multiple federations, like over the past couple of seasons, but I love seeing her perform. I think every different fed as well, she'll bring something new.
Yeah, I think that's what's cool as well. Like, she really, really like poses for the fed she's in, which is really cool to see. And I think it's like it's actually, you know, it's pretty hard like to do it well. You know, like bikini, especially, like you'll know. Obviously, you're a posing coach, but like for the different federations, like how different they want you to do things. Like being able to be good at all of them is, it takes a lot.
It is an art, mate, and she does exactly that. And it was really deserved, you know. Being a tall athlete, a lot of the time you can kind of look like stringy, etc. Like, but Jazz, obviously, her partner is her coach Joe, and they just managed to bring her in, like, regardless of how long or how short her prep is, and they just bring her in really well, so that she always looks really full and popping. Which is really great, really cool to see. So the reason why I wanted to speak about this is because I don't know if you know him. Craig had his return to stage, and he got second, and it was a battle, mate.
Really?
Like, there was only 3 on stage, but I'll be honest, like, it was just first and second, and you can tell that they were going against one another. Like, you can tell it was like, ooh. And I actually think I remember seeing Craig's story being like 1-1. So I feel like they've been on stage with each other before, and Craig won. Yeah. Now, Marty this guy's called Marty. He actually owns, as you can see in his like username thing, he owns South Coast Gym.
Cool.
Which is quite a well-known gym in the South.
Coast.
I'll be honest, like, he definitely deserved it. Like, Craig, even though it's the tall category, Craig looked like a little bit taller, if that makes sense. Like, if you completely look at them separately, like, Marty had a real good pop to his whole physique. And like his waist was really, really tight. But I know, like I said, it was Craig's like return to stage, like after having like really serious surgery and things. So
that's so cool. And yeah, I mean, if you say like they're on par, like from this shot, like a very good classic. So I mean, I think both of them, like at finals, would probably be the third battle between them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so that will be really interesting to see.
Cool.
But yeah, and then obviously there was, if we just go back down to overall, you'll be able to see. So that Chris was the overall that we spoke about at the beginning. Buff Baddie was the overall. That was the side shot that I'd seen.
Yeah, that's really cool.
How good is that?
Yeah,
that balance as well. And then Chelsea with the figure. And you like that photo?
Of course, I obviously like it. I think I've only liked the ones of the girls. So I like men's bodybuilding too. I promise.
I promise.
But yeah, I mean, another busy show weekend. Hey, do we have any shows this weekend coming up, or have we got a first timers 5 PCA? That's going to be busy, I think.
Mate, it's going to be outrageous. I'm not going to that. Are you?
No, I'm having a weekend break.
Yeah, same.
And before like finals kick off and things, because then you've got BNBF finals, WNBF, UKFBA, and then you've got the abroad shows and PCA finals.
Yeah.
In a row.
Yeah.
4 weeks in the trot.
It's gonna be big. But if you are still listening, if you got to this point, thank you so much for listening. Let us know what you think. Of course, as always, we love to hear your feedback. We love to hear your comments. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. Tag us in your stories as well. That'd be absolutely amazing. And then finally, do you want to do it?
Yes, so this podcast is supported by Per4m, which you can get from the Per4m website or Insights Ups, and TeamPosing with Hannah, which, yeah, very proud to have them both supporting this podcast. So if you're not following them already, then give them a follow. And I guess that will be it for today. So we will see you in the next episode. And like Hannah said, just thank you so much for watching. Any feedback, just let us know.
Amazing. See you next week.
Bye.